What's up to all my lights out there? It's Suave and I am here at the Wetlands. We are walking Duck Creek Trail, I think, and I'm here with
Josh.
Yes.
Hello.
And today we are going to talk a little bit about self-identification and break that down while walking this trail. So we'll see how this goes. Let's get into it. What do you feel self-identification means to you, or having a self-identity?
For me, it's kind of like an ego, I guess you could say. You just got to know what your physical representation here is the first part. Knowing where you stand in this world, essentially, like social status, etc., things like that. That is part of your identification, but not the most important part. It's something that you do have to be aware of, though. I think you do really got to be able to identify the other side of yourself too, the mind, because the mind isn't what everyone else sees, it's what you see only, and that's really important. That you can kind of correlate the two, you know what I mean? Kind of like a GPS system as a phone to a satellite, almost the same thing. What about you? What do you think?
Self-identity is a sense of understanding about who you are and the abilities and stuff that you have. The more you learn about things, the more you identify with the things that you learn. So it's like some things that you learn about aren't for you.
Yeah.
And some things that you learn about is better suited for you. And I feel like that's where self-identity comes a lot. Something you identify with, right? So, yeah.
You yourself identify with it.
Exactly. And that, if you identify with it, then definitely it's part of your self-identification, right?
I think so.
What feels right to you?
Yeah, exactly. The examining side is super important, but also if you don't know what you're feeling, then you can't interpret correctly. I think that's like our thermostat, is our emotions, if you would. Hope you feel like you're feeling too cold, too hot, or if it's just right. No.
Agreed.
It's almost like your passions are your self-identity, right? What you want out of life is what you're willing to put into it, is the body. And what you want is the mind. You know what I mean? Like, you decide what you want yourself. And in a world where you're kind of constantly being barraged with other points of views and perspectives, it's important to still stand with your own, but be flexible enough to hear other points of views and communicate that properly.
So you need to have a sense of open-mindedness when it comes to self-identification, you said?
I think so.
I agree with that. I love how you said that, and I feel like one of the strongest points and why I feel like you need to have an open mind is because you won't know what is for you or what you relate to if you don't have an open mind to be able to examine things or to really try to get an understanding of things, you know?
Right.
If you just like shut things down and be like, oh, well, no.
No, because look, sometimes life puts giant puddles in your way. And you have to find your way around them. Some way.
This is not cool. Look at that. So, the journey across is going to be a hard one for me.
My least favorite.
So this is a result of what happened when I crossed the mud. Exciting. To continue what I was saying, in order for you to find out more about yourself, you need to be able to have an open mind to explore new things, to learn new things, to grow in different things, and to find out what fits best with you.
Yeah. And if only you guys can explore this smell with us right now.
Yeah, that's what the exploration is.
Yeah, I agree though. Like, a lot of the time that we're going to understand who we are is by kind of watching someone else do it first. It's I mean, that's just like life in a nutshell though, right? When you're a kid, you learn by observation. You watch everyone else show you how to do it and you do it.
Yeah.
So when you see someone else doing something you think you would like, I would think that your first reaction to that would be cool, and then you go try it. And if you don't like it, then you understand that that doesn't align with your self-identity. And the funny part about that is that's just for right now. You never know when you might be into that. You might change your mind, you know?
That's true. That's true. Expression is another thing that I feel goes along with self-identity, because you need to be able to express who you are and I guess be comfortable with it sometimes, because the way you dress, the way you present yourself, the way you carry yourself out in public places is all a part of your self-identity. And sometimes we can mask that self-identity because we have a fear of acceptance, maybe, or
rejection.
Rejection, that's a good one.
Two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
It's important to definitely try those expressions. In any way, shape, or form they come to you, I would recommend attempting any expression that comes into your mind, be it painting, be it dancing, be it schoolwork. That could even be an expression of you, know?
Yeah. It's all a part of your self-identity. It's what you identify with. It's what you express. It's what you like. It's what you can engage in when you have conversations, stuff like that. So.
And I feel like a lot of obscurity behind self-identity is that self-identity is often, like I was saying, like you kind of like watch someone else do it and try it. Yeah. Self-identity is not anything to do with anyone else. Like it's completely your creation, your safe space. So to create a self-identity based around other people is already doing it wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're coming into it with the mindset that you're trying to please people with who you are, and that's not important.
That is very true. That is very true.
Do you just innately know if something's good or bad for you, or do you think you can fall into something that is bad for you but you think is good? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think the second part.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes you don't know, you're unaware of what's good, or you may think that something is good for you and it's not really good for you until you get into the actual experience, or you get into the situation or whatever it is, and then you start to realize, like, oh shoot, that's where people come up with regret, I guess you can say.
Great example, I feel like, with a lot of people, especially since like the legalization of marijuana. A lot of people have a problem with it but don't want to admit it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Or I guess it's not a problem in their mind, because it's like a hoarder who has too much baggage everywhere, they can't even see it anymore. It's like the same thing with them. They got so many other priorities on their mind. It's not something that's at the forefront, or not something they worry about first.
Yeah.
You know? So it becomes habitual in the background, you know?
What do you feel a lack of self-identity would cause in a person if they don't have a self-identification?
They might feel depressed and not know why. They might feel angry and not know why. And I feel like they may scramble for any sort of self-identification they can find. And by that I mean they may have a trillion different interests, but never pursue one in particular. If you don't know how to identify yourself because you're afraid of something, I went straight down my shirt. I literally went all the way down, tickle right on the nips, man. Without self-identity, you don't know where to go. There's no direction, and it's not because you're looking for direction from someone else, it's because you're looking inward and all you're seeing is crossroads and confusion.
Yeah, yeah. It can make people rely on other people to push them towards something, you know, or they'll rely on other people's interests to help them to latch onto those interests.
Right.
You know, it's hard for them to find their own
way.
Yeah, which I mean is not a bad thing, because sometimes you find yourself within that.
Yeah.
But sometimes you lose yourself within that as well. So it's a really fine line, because you'll end up doing stuff that's not for you, just out of a sense of living through someone else.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If this person is helping me to live my life, because I'm living my life through them.
Parents are like one of the biggest, like, if you're a young parent.
Oh my gosh, that's a good example.
You know what I mean?
I already know where you're going with that, but go ahead.
Like, you live through, I feel like I see it happen a lot where people live through their children in a way, and it's like they want them to be what they want them to be instead of what they want to be.
Yeah.
And that's confusing for the kid and for the adult, you know what I mean? It's,
it makes it a hard little, that makes it a difficult situation, because the kid wants to live a life that is suitable for their parents, and at the same time the parent wants the child to live a life that they find suitable for themselves.
Exactly.
You know, so it's like, this is the best life that I see for you.
Right. But it might necessarily, they might not want that mansion, that car, be a doctor like the parent wants. They just want to live with a guitar and a van. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you can't discount a person for being who they are.
Yeah. I notice that sometimes with certain people, though, they'll be living a life according to what seems most bound to happen. You know, like, this is easy. If I go to school and do this, then I can go in this program, you know? Without really doing what they actually love sometimes, and it kind of holds them back.
Yeah.
Which I kind of feel bad when that happens in some aspects.
I think it was Talib Kweli that said the struggle is beautiful, and I love that, because you can't really appreciate who you are until you found out all of the things that you're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Alright guys, we made it back from the trail, and you guys heard our perspective on self-identification. And let us know down below what you think about self-identity and your feelings or thoughts on that, so we can discuss it in the comment section below. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a coin flip, hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so you guys can stay connected with me and follow me along on this journey. Follow Josh on his social media, that will be in the description box below.
Thank you.
And as always, make sure to keep growing, keep loving, keep connecting, and keep spreading light. Bye guys.
See you next time.